All right, today we're going to tackle one of the biggest misconceptions in men's health. We're diving deep into a hormone that, let's be honest, most guys think has absolutely nothing to do with them: progesterone. When a guy hears the word progesterone, this is probably the first thing, and let's face it, maybe the only thing that pops into his head. It's always been tied to female biology, and for good reason. That's just what we've all been taught.
And I bet for a lot of you watching right now, the answer is a big yes. The whole idea of progesterone in a man's body can seem, well, weird, maybe even a little alarming. But what if that's not the whole story?
Well, that's our mission today. We're going to completely bust this myth wide open. We're going to show you how this overlooked hormone isn't just floating around in men, but is actually a crucial player for your health.
Okay, so let's get right down to it. Where does this stuff even come from in a man's body? And what's its real job anyway?
So progesterone isn't some accidental guest in the male body. Not at all. It's actually being made in a bunch of key places. Your adrenal glands are cranking it out, your testicles are making it, and get this, even your brain and your nerve cells are synthesizing it. It's a fundamental part of your biology. To really get why this matters, you've got to understand this idea of a precursor hormone. Think of it like a key ingredient in a recipe, maybe like flour in a bakery. You can't make bread, you can't make cake without it. Well, progesterone is that essential starting block for other major hormones. Think of it like an assembly line inside your body. The whole process kicks off with cholesterol, that's the raw material. That gets converted into something called pregnenolone, and then boom, pregnenolone becomes progesterone. And from there, progesterone is like the master key that unlocks the door to producing other critical hormones like cortisol, aldosterone, and the one we're really focused on, testosterone. And here's the bottom line, the absolute key takeaway. That last crucial step of turning progesterone into testosterone, it happens right inside the testes. So if you don't have enough progesterone, your body is literally missing one of the essential ingredients it needs to make testosterone. It's that simple. All right, so we know where it comes from. Now let's get to the really good part. What does having healthy progesterone levels actually do for you? The benefits are, frankly, staggering. Just look at this list. The scope of what progesterone does here is, well, it's huge. It helps jack up your free testosterone, but it also does this really clever thing where it helps control your estrogen. It does that by blocking an enzyme called aromatase. That's the stuff that turns your hard-earned testosterone into estrogen. And check this out. It supports prostate health by blocking another enzyme, 5-alpha reductase, which is linked to an enlarged prostate. Sound familiar? That's the exact same target as drugs like finasteride. And believe it or not, the benefits don't even stop there. We're talking about something that goes way beyond just your muscles and hormones. It goes straight to your brain and your entire nervous system. I mean, progesterone is so active in the brain, they actually call it a neurosteroid. It has this amazing calming effect, helping to dial down anxiety and keep adrenaline in check. It's also neuroprotective, which means it literally protects your brain cells from damage and it helps them heal. It even helps repair the myelin sheath, that protective coating around your nerves. That's a huge deal for nerve health. Okay, so after hearing about all these incredible benefits, the next logical question is, great, how do I get my levels right? But, and this is a big but, this is where things get a little tricky. Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If you're thinking your levels might be off, how can you know for sure? The tough part is, it's not as simple as just getting one blood test. And here's why it's so tricky. See, hormones are what we call compartmentalized. What that means is the amount of progesterone just floating around in your blood doesn't necessarily tell you what's actually going on inside your brain or inside your testes. So a single blood test can be pretty misleading. And this chart, it just perfectly lays out the challenge we're talking about. When you look at the research, the dosing is all over the place. For topical creams, you might see doses as low as 10 milligrams. But for oral capsules, it can go all the way up to 600 milligrams. For things like prostate support or helping with sleep, it's somewhere in the middle. The big takeaway here is that there's just no one-size-fits-all dose. Now, here's something you really need to know. It's a bit of a paradox, actually. You might think, okay, I'll just start with a super low dose to be safe. But for some men, a really low dose can backfire and actually make things worse, creating symptoms that look a lot like high estrogen, like retaining water or feeling anxious. It's a really complex balancing act. And hey, if you're wondering about safety, let's just put this into perspective for a second. Let's compare progesterone to finasteride, that common drug for hair loss and prostate issues. On one hand, you have progesterone.
It's a bioidentical molecule, a natural part of your biology, and it has all these broad health benefits. On the other hand, you have finasteride, a synthetic, altered molecule that's known for some pretty significant side effects and is even the target of class action lawsuits.
And that leads to this quote from one of the experts, and it just hits you, right? Why are we so happily going to this synthetic here? When we have this safe, natural molecule that our body already knows how to use, it really makes you question the standard approach to men's health, doesn't it?
So we'll leave you with this final thought. When you consider its crucial role in making testosterone, its power to keep estrogen in check, and all of its protective effects on your brain and your body, you have to ask, could progesterone be the single most important and most overlooked key to men's health? All the evidence seems to suggest it's a question we should all be asking.